Jen, now we're at your picks. Well, you're looking ahead a little bit.
We are looking ahead a little bit. So, yeah, we are going to jump into forward-facing biopics. And like I mentioned, just this past Friday, the 24th, the Michael Jackson biopic came out called Michael. And I have not seen it yet. Full disclosure, I know we did a big episode about The Bride where I went to a preview screening. I was not able to attend a preview screening of Michael as I was out of town. But I've watched the trailer. I've watched a lot of interviews, and I'm definitely going to go see it. I mean, Michael Jackson is an artist that I super struggle with. We talk about this a lot. Like, do I acknowledge that he is problematic? 100%, like absolutely. And I think a lot of people are, saying that this movie might be problematic because it doesn't address any of this. And I'm like, you know what? I just want to keep my head in the sand. I'm happy. So this movie starts kind of Jackson 5 era. And then it's really, from what I understand, the crux of it is really about Michael Jackson deciding to go solo. So we all know, like, Jackson 5 was a thing. They were huge, but there's never been a rock star, or there hadn't been a rock star like Michael Jackson until Michael Jackson, right? Like, and so I think that's the crux of the movie, is that it focuses on him leaving the Jackson 5 and going on to become, Michael Jackson as we know him. And it stops at the Bad Tour. So I'm like, you know what? That's right, exactly where I want to stop. I don't want to go on to like Neverland and Monkeys and like crazy shit, Dr. Feelgoods. Like I know all of that happened. I was living in LA.
To Lisa Marie
Presley. Like, I'll never forget my dad. Like, when it was televised, he's like, I guess Elvis is rolling over in his grave right now. Like, well, thanks, Dad. That's helpful. Like, it's just like, this is a sham. This is for publicity, anyway. So yeah, I'm glad that we don't get into more of like the crazy Michael Jackson, because I really do. I'm a person that struggles with separating the art from the artist. And I'm also a person that will often, when feeling bad or do not know what else to play, look to the Off the Wall or Thriller album, right? Like, I gotta be honest, like, especially Off the Wall. Like, I don't know how you could listen to the Off the Wall album and feel bad, right? It's just such a great album from beginning to end. And so that was a lot of preface to get into this pick. But my first pick for our biopic episode is Don't Stop Till You Get Enough by Michael Jackson. And we do know that this is featured in the movie. I think that from the trailer and the soundtrack listing, again, it starts back with Jackson 5, takes us all the way through Bad. And I really hope that Off the Wall and Thriller get a ton of love. And I think they're going to have to, because that's really what launched his solo career, And so I think that we'll get a nice look at this pre-problematic Michael Jackson. And I think it also has to be acknowledged, like, did he abuse children? Everybody has their own personal opinion, right? Was he an abused child? Yes, we do know that. So I think that, you have to acknowledge that there are some cycles that need breaking. There is some victimhood here. Like, there are lots of things that play into this very complicated person. And so I do have to say that I struggle with this whole idea of separating the art from the artist, but I'm so happy that this movie is just going to give us like the glory days of MJ, if you will, right?
I think that's where I struggle with something like this, because there are so many stories. There's documentaries. A lot of people have spoken out about, the alleged crimes that he committed. And I guess the concern would probably be, is this movie just going to make him the victim in all this? Right. And it's like, see what he went through and see isn't that hard, and look how he overcame it. And then it's like, we're just going to ignore the last, 15 years of his life where things kind of went off the rails a little bit. Yeah. And again, kind of understandable, because when you have a messed up childhood, you're probably not going to have a really normal adulthood, right? Like that kind of tracks. But I think people are going to have an issue with it just sort of not even addressing it, in any way.
And people are.
And kind of pumping them up, because I think there's already sort of an issue now where, like, my daughter does dance, and there's Michael Jackson songs all the time at these dance competitions. And, like, there should be, because it's great music. Okay, but let's flip it the other way. Like, what if somebody played a Kanye West song? Right. Are we now like, we can't do that? And it's like, look, Kanye never abused any children. He just ran his mouth. right? Like if you think about sort of things that people have done, it's like Kanye's just said a lot of crazy things and then come back and ask for forgiveness. Like Michael Jackson might have ruined a number of people's lives. And so to sit here and go, I'm going to play Michael Jackson's music and kind of move on, but then I can never forgive Kanye West. It's like, well, I mean, and I don't think we want to get into ranking crimes or anything like that, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, speaking versus abuse, I think are two very different things.
Totally. And I think there's also alleged versus convicted, right? Like, I hope that they're not playing any R. Kelly songs at your daughter's dance competition. Like, let's hope that those are steering
not
clear.
That I've heard, but let me tell you, Ignition still gets played and people love that song. Okay?
Let's not do that.
I'm not saying it's right, but if you started playing that somewhere, people would start dancing before they realized what they were doing.
I hear you. So I think that this is a complicated thing, and I'm excited to see the movie because I do want to see. The other thing I'll say about it too is that having worked in that industry for so many years, one thing I hope they show, because I think this is a big part of what happened to Michael, is just the way that when you reach a certain level of celebrity, you have nothing but people entitling you to things, right? You have a team of people that are literally around you all the time, giving you whatever you want because you are their cash cow, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's your manager, whether it's your stylist, whether it's your publicist, whether anybody, you've got a team of people that are on your payroll. You are their bread and butter, and you've probably afforded them a lifestyle that they never even dreamed of with your superstardom, and they are not going to cut off that gravy train. So whenever you hear these crazy stories about celebrities, like, why would they let a doctor come in and inject him every night with medicine? Like, you don't even know the half of it. Like, some of the stuff that I have seen, I'm just like, you cannot believe the culture of entitlement and like the amount of sycophants that are like hanging around to leech off of these people endlessly. And I think that's got to be so tiring spiritually and financially and emotionally, like to have that kind of drain on you all the time.
And of course it's going to warp your worldview, right?
Yes,
like if anything you say, it's almost like having a genie, right? Like if I just ask the genie for anything and then all of a sudden I get an answer of no from the genie one day, you're looking at that genie going, wait a minute, why can't I have that? You're out of here.
You're fired,
Get
genie.
me another genie.
I've seen it 1,000 times. That's exactly how it goes. And so I hope that they show some of that culture too, right? That led to the demise of so many stars. Like it really is. It's a problem. Like it's a real problem.
Yeah. But I think the other thing to talk about the Michael movie real quick is like just looking at the trailer, it does sound like they found someone who kind of looks and sounds like Michael Jackson. So, you kind of have a couple choices when making a movie like this. You either go and get the biggest star possible and see if they can fill the role, or you get someone who is a pretty close facsimile to what you're trying to portray here and you get them to do it, and that's maybe, that was kind of big part of our issue with Jeremy Allen White is like you kind of got the hot actor instead of someone who maybe could fulfill the role a little better.
100%. And you bring this up, which is amazing. So there's a actor that plays young Michael Jackson, but the actor that plays grown Michael Jackson is an actor named Jafar Jackson because he's Michael's nephew.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's what you do see the family resemblance there. Yes. I was watching an interview, Coleman Domingo plays Joe Jackson, who's a fantastic actor. I mean, I can't wait to see him embody this role. I think he's so good. Apparently Nia Long is amazing as Katherine Jackson as well. And so I think that the casting looks pretty spot on this. And I think Jafar Jackson, the first thing I wanted to hear the very first time I watched the trailer, I'm like, if they don't nail the voice, I'm out. If they don't sound like Michael Jackson to the ear, and he has a very distinct voice that you can recognize anywhere, I'm like, I'm going to blow this whole movie up. I'm never going to see it. Like, no.
Yeah.
And he nails it. He nails the voice. And then more importantly, like second to the voice, maybe first to the voice, is the choreography. You got to have somebody that can do those moves. And I'm not sure if you've ever tried to recreate a Michael Jackson dance, but those moves are hard. I'd love to see that actually, Matt. see your version of the Thriller video, please.
Okay.
You've got until October. You've got until October to learn the choreo. And that's one of his easier ones. Come on, you can do it.
That is one of the easier ones because they're all undead. Yeah, so they can only move so much.
So you can do it.
Yeah,
but
okay.
I mean, I think that's critical, though, right? Somebody has to nail that choreography. If you're not actually dancing like Michael Jackson, like nobody cares. That was half of the draw. Like,
oh yeah. Well, and you talk about the voice. You know, thinking about it, it's like I don't know what Freddie Mercury's speaking voice sounds like. Right? Like that doesn't, but I know what his singing voice sounds like, but it's to Rami Malek's advantage that like, I don't know what his speaking voice sounds like. So you're probably okay just kind of doing something somewhat close, like you're fine. And then we'll figure out the singing because no one can really sing like that. Right. And we can dub in lyrics and or dub in voices for that. So, so yeah, but I think you're right here. It's like you're not going to dub in some other voice for someone speaking the entire time, right? Like that's not going to happen. And so this is one of those ones where it would have been really hard to hit just because he has such a distinctive voice. And you're right. Then you need a dancer for sure.
Yeah, and they were also, too, Coleman Domingo, I saw an interview with him where he was talking about how it was great to have Jafar Jackson on set because they actually filmed in the Jacksons, like their real home as children. Wow. And so the grandparents' home, Catherine and Joe Jackson's home. And so, you know, Jafar would be like, oh, yeah, I used to slide down this banister when we were at Grandma and Grandpa's. And, you know, he could point out different things. And Coleman Domingo was saying it really gave life to the house because, you know, as I'm supposed to be the patriarch of this home, you know, like it gave me just some different things to think about as I'm choosing my motivations and where I'm going and why I'm doing what I'm doing in the house. And so I think that gave probably a very, a full 360 picture of what it was like in a different way that you wouldn't have by having a family member, you know, there portraying this lead character of Michael Jackson.
Right.
He was able to sort of help inform the whole set about what life was like as a young Jackson, even though he was, you know, the next generation after Michael. But I love this song. I can't wait to see it performed in the movie. I think it's going to be so fun. The dancing that goes along with this is insane. And if you have not listened to the Off the Wall album or it's been a minute, like take it out. And I think you'll also recognize how many other albums it influenced. Like there is no, you know, Justin Timberlake, Future Sex, Love Sounds without Off the Wall. There are so many albums that when you listen to Off the Wall, you're like, oh my gosh, I never knew this influenced this person and this person and this person. Like you really can't help but hear how influential it is. And of course, everybody knows Thriller. It's been played to death. It has probably my second favorite Michael Jackson song, a song called Human Nature on the Thriller album. But I love Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. It's like instant good mood song. And you recognize it from the very beginning with the woo, you know, like and the like it's so good. I've always loved this song. I will always love this song. I hope they play this song at the end of my funeral, honestly. This is how I want everybody to walk out. I want everyone to leave my funeral to Don't Stop Till You Get Enough because let's end it on a party. Like that's what I want to sign off with. So make a note.
I'll make a note, yeah, and I'll save this recording so when someone's like, "Who is this guy and why is he making this suggestion?" I can be like,
How come he's making us play this song at a funeral?
Guys, I know it sounds weird. Just bear with me.
It's fitting. I mean, I'd obviously had enough if I'm dead.
She's had enough at this point. That's why she stopped.
I stopped when I had enough.
She stopped. She was very...
That's the message.
If I could say one thing about Jenn, she was a very literal person. And she stopped when she had enough.
She's had enough. We can all rest assured. We can all leave this celebration of life knowing that Jenn had enough. She got enough. I did. It's true. All right. We're gonna keep it going. We have one more track for you, and this is another one I'm super excited about because I'm living in my happy place of 80s music right here. But my final track for our biopic song list today is a song by the amazing Madonna called Causing a Commotion. So we're going to get meta for this one here. So there's been a whole lot of speculation about what is going on with this film. It has been in and out of development for years. You know, Madonna has been on board. She's been off board. Obviously, casting is going to be a huge thing. Everybody knows Madonna, and everybody knows all the phases of Madonna. Like Madonna 1980 is very different than Madonna 2026, right? And the fact that she's still relevant, I think, is the most amazing part about it, right? I can't think of a lot of artists that have been relevant for as long as Madonna has. But I think that it feels like this time the film's finally going to get made. We saw these leaked photos from Italy, and it looks like Julia Garner, my hero from Ozark, has the show. Like, it looks like she's got the part. It looks like, you know, like Madonna has finally given the stamp of approval. So it feels like it's finally going to get made. And I believe its current working title is Who's That Girl? So for those of us that grew up in the 80s, you know that there's a movie from 1987 that starred Madonna, but was not about Madonna's life, called Who's That Girl? That said movie has a soundtrack, and on that soundtrack is the song Causing a Commotion, which is one of my favorite Madonna songs. Obviously, I love that. You know, everybody knows Borderlines on my Desert Island mix. That era of Madonna is huge for me. But I feel like this is a song that doesn't get as much love as it should. Like, this is such a good song. If you like old Madonna and you're a Borderline, like a Virgin fan, like that era, this one is great. And it probably doesn't get as much love as it should, because if you... If you've not revisited the 1987 Madonna Griffin Dunn film, Who's That Girl? Maybe don't. Wow. I tried to go back and rewatch this movie because I'm like, you know what? It'll be fun. Like, I haven't seen it since the 80s. Oh, no. It's almost unwatchable. And I love you, Madonna, so much. I love Griffin Dunn. Like, it's almost unwatchable. It's really bad. It's really bad. So I'm glad that was not a take on Madonna's life. It was just a movie that she starred in her early acting years. I think this and like Desperately Seeking Susan were kind of the two, like, oh, she's a star, let's put her in a movie, you know, before she really, I think she kicked it up by the time she got to Dick Tracy and Evita and some of her later work, you know, she got better. But these early movies are not so good, Madge.
I'm going to read the summary for Who's That Girl. An uptight New York City tax lawyer gets his life turned upside down one day when he's asked to escort a feisty, free-spirited ex-convict who asks him to help prove her innocence of her crime. That's the summary for Who's That Girl, and it's on the Roku channel right now. So if you have a Roku TV, you could just fire it up right now.
If you want your eyes to bleed and your heart to hurt, fire up Who's That Girl?
I like how he's specifically a tax lawyer.
And honestly, that never even figures. Like, he's like he's like an attorney of some sort, but you don't know how. It's like, there's a tiger involved that they're also transporting in their convertible roles. I mean, it's and Madonna's playing this very weird, it's like Papa Don't Preach, like short platinum pixie cut era Madonna. And she's like this like Betty Boop, Marilyn Monroe. Like at one point she's actually like skipping in her heels. Like, it's just very not the empowered Madonna that we think of these days. It's such a strange role. And
I want to say early Madonna was a little more whimsical. Like she was kind of playing a character a little bit there. And then you're right, as it goes into the 90s, there's a lot more like empowered Madonna. I'm taking control. This is what's happening. Like kind of, I don't know, probably the person you see more today. But
well, you see her grow up. You see her grow up from being a 20-year-old woman to what is she now, a 70-year-old woman? Like, you know, I think
pretty close.
You get this evolution of, I think that's one of the great things that's so relatable about Madonna is you do see her change as she grows as a woman. And as, you know, as we all grow as humans, you're definitely going to change. And I love that she's been bold enough to do that. And so I hope that the movie that is about her life takes us through as much of her life as they can, right? I hope it's not a small little slice where we're just going to be looking at one album, like, or they're going to pick some weird time period, like Deliver Me From Nowhere. Like, I hope we get like a full spectrum picture of Madonna, because I think one of the most amazing things about her is just how long she's managed to keep herself relevant to people. That's an amazing feat to me.
Yeah, I agree on all that. And I love that there's a movie coming out, because I don't know if she gets enough love nowadays versus maybe some of the other artists from that era. And I don't know if people understand how significant she was when she came out. Because growing up, I mean, it was like, what is this? You know, because she wasn't really like any other pop star out there when she came out. And from the beginning, the topics she sang about were different than anything else out there. And it only kind of ramped up from there. So I think they would probably, or I would hope they would take us from kind of 1980 through maybe the year 2000 with this film. And I think Julia Garner would be the perfect person to do that, because we've seen her play that poor girl, in Ozark, right? And just kind of the feistiness that she plays there. And Madonna grew up with nothing. She grew up in Detroit, right? She's not a, her parents weren't anything, significant in the show business industry to where they kind of handed this down to her. And so she kind of just scrapped and clawed her way through. And so I think Julia Garner is kind of the perfect person to play that, but then also the perfect person that sort of transitioned into this very powerful woman that Madonna became. And just, and again, she's one, I don't think, there's sort of the fake British accent that she kind of has put on in recent years, which I think is weird, but Julia Garner is British, so I think she could easily pull that off. But, it's one of those things where it's like, how much does she need to sound like Madonna? I'd say very little. I think Madonna's changed her look so much, to your point about giving credit to hair and makeup. That's where they're really going to come in huge in a movie like this. And I think this has got the opportunity to be a good movie, just because there's less of that, you've got to sound like this or you've got to look like that. I think she just has to kind of embody who Madonna is, like whatever that means. But that's where it's like giving it to a great actress, I think, is crucial here.
I agree. And we saw her, with the Anna Delvey story. Like, I think that she has the ability to, and also, like, word on the street is that this audition process for the role, because I think it went down. I mean, there was a short list of women that were on, like, I think Florence Pugh was kind of, I think those were the last two. Florence Pugh and Julia Garner were kind of the last two, but like Alexa Demi, Odessa Young, like there were plenty of hot young actresses that obviously wanted this role. And it seems that Madonna sort of really hand selected Julia Garner, like that she was like, this is the one. And the audition had like an 11-hour choreography session. I mean, it sounds pretty crazy, but I think just the same way, I sort of gave kudos to Michael Jackson for paving the way for so many other artists. Same thing with Madonna, right? Like everybody knows I'm a huge T-Swift fan. T-Swift doesn't exist without Madonna, right? Mm-hmm. Madonna laid the groundwork for every empowered young female singer that we see today. I'm not saying Madonna did it exclusively, but I'm saying she did it in a major way. Like, again, I don't think a Taylor Swift, and maybe she does, but I don't know that she has the balls to re-record all of her music the way that she did without somebody as ballsy as Madonna coming before her, right? Like, and no discredit to Taylor. Everybody knows I think that's one of the most baller business moves that's ever happened.
Oh, yeah.
Is her re-recording everything with Taylor's version. But again, I think that Madonna pushed so many of those boundaries, whether it was, her getting dropped from, Pepsi for the Like a Prayer video. And she was like, drop me then. Like, don't care. This is what I'm doing. I think that so many of those things that she stood for, her getting so much slack about Papa Don't Preach when it's an anti-abortion song. Like, she's keeping the baby, right? Like, that was always my thing about it. I'm like, you guys are bitching about an anti-abortion song? It was always like, I always say this about Hotel California too, and they're like, it's a devil worship song. I'm like, the line in the song is literally, the last thing I remember, I was running for the door. Like, that doesn't sound like a person that's happy devil worshiping. It sounds like they want to run for the door.
They're a reluctant Satanist. You know? They're the reluctant Satanist. Yeah.
So what are we talking about here, people? Like, so I think, again, Madonna sort of was one of these first like firebrands that took, you know, paparazzi. Like, she was one of the first people to really experience that with like the helicopters at her and Sean Penn's wedding. Like, that was one of the first times shit like that had happened, right? Like, people didn't stalk celebrities the way they did really before kind of this Michael Jackson, Madonna era. They're the ones that really kicked it off. And so, you know, there's good and bad. There's good and bad with everything, but I feel like I wouldn't trade. I would be so sad. This world would be much worse without their music. You know, I don't know if I had to trade Michael Jackson and Madonna's entire catalog for No More Paparazzi. Like, ooh, that's tough. I know the right answer is No More Paparazzi, but I listen to those albums a lot.
No. The right answer is keeping their music, I think. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and on top of like Taylor Swift, I mean, Lady Gaga's direct descendant to a Madonna, right?
100.
And she's someone who can, I mean, her voice is amazing, right? So it's like, she's someone who probably could have just made it as a strict singer, but she kind of took on this performative persona. And I think that was a direct line from a Madonna type, you know?
Well, and the funny thing about Madonna, too, is that she doesn't have a great voice. Like, you're not talking about like a 5-octave range or anything here. But I think the persona outshone, and the dance and the creativity and the fashion, like, I think the persona Madonna is almost as big as the music. And I, of course, do love her songs, but we're not talking about like an Adele type voice here, right? Or even a Lady Gaga type voice. Like, Madonna's voice is pretty middle of the road in terms of singing. And before, like, I think it was before the Ray of Light album, she didn't even know how to play an instrument. Like, she did teach herself guitar finally, and like, you know, that she kind of showcased some of that on that album. But like, this is again an artist that's constantly growing, constantly changing, constantly evolving. And so I hope we get to see a lot of those evolutions, because there's not one Madonna phase that I love more than another. Like, they're all great, and I'm excited about the new album coming out. I think we'll probably have an episode.
She's got a new album.
Yeah, I think we'll have a new Confessions too. I love the Confessions from the Dance Floor album, and so I'm really excited to see this through line continue. And so I think we've got a lot more, you know, to look at. And I think Madonna's not done yet. I think she's not done, and so I really have high hopes for this album and for this biopic. Well, Matt, thank you so much for sharing what you're listening to this week. I think we do have a 2-parter. It's official. But I knew we'd have a lot to say here. I knew that we would have a lot to say. And I'm just throwing this out there. I don't know. We might have teased a season 4 of The Battle idea here.
Oh, maybe so. Maybe
best
so.
Biopic?
Maybe best biopic. Know. Yeah.
There's a lot to choose from. I rattled off a few in the beginning.
Did.
Like, I don't know. We might kick that around off air.
Yeah, we could dip our toes into the movie world instead of just music. I love it. I think
it's good. I think it's good. We do the song, and we could even do like, well, we'll have to decide. Do we want to choose the film as a whole, or just a song from the film? I don't know. Listeners, we might need you to weigh in.
Yeah, we need their input. Okay, at Super Awesome Mix, let us know what you think Battle Season 4 should look like. Should it be specific songs from movies, or should we just start talking movies?
Yeah, I'm interested to know. And please, listeners, be sure to follow, download. And if you have a music and movie loving friend like Matt and I, share this episode. I think they'll enjoy it. And I will be back again next week with an all new episode. Until then, to stay informed on all things Super Awesome Mix and what are you listening to, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Super Awesome Mix. Thanks for listening, and please join me again next week to find your new favorite song.